We're live. We're going to be live. This is crazy. Yo, this is crazy. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. We're going to be live. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
What up? What up? What up? What up? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Quest. Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. It's definitely not for suckers. This is the place where we talk marriage, D, and the real. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing my co-host, my man, my mellow, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for L. David Harris.
Oh, you talk about me?
Yeah.
Get on the mic.
And MC.
Yo, Quest. Class is in session.
You are no D. So, yeah, brother. I am. I'm geeked. I'm geeked about getting back together. Last week we had to take a break. I went down to Florida to go and spend some time with the parents. It was Mason's birthday, so we took him down there to Legoland, and he would like to lose his doggone mind, him and both Nico. So we went 2 days. One day we went to the rides side of the park, and the second day we went back to the water park, and they had a good old time. And so, yeah, man, keep Neeks in your prayers. He's home today. Got a little stomach bug, so he can't keep nothing in.
Oh, boy. Top and bottom.
Top and bottom.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
So I felt for him. He was like, Daddy, can you sit in here with me today? Because he's in his room, in his bed. So I was like, no doubt. He's got like a futon at the end of his bed. Yeah. So I kind of set up my little table in there and put my, my Mac up there. And I'm working in there with him today.
Okay.
But yeah, man, shouts out to him.
Okay.
I'm also ecstatic, overjoyed, grateful, thankful, and excited to announce that
you're gonna have a no.
If it happened, I'll cut it off. I swear. Not another one. I'll cut it off.
It's my bad. It's my bad for interrupting you.
I'll cut it off.
I won't do that again.
I'll cut it off.
That went left.
Yeah, I'll cut it off, D. Not another one. No,
I'm
sir.
not asking no more questions. Go ahead, sir. Pardon me. Go ahead.
But I will have, you know what I'm saying? It's been years since we've got to see each other in the flesh. The last time we was in Maryland a couple of years ago. And I'll be going to Jamaica to go visit family and, friends, and me and D gonna get to, kick it a little bit over the Christmas holiday. So I'm thankful for that.
Word.
If time allows us, we might be able to get one of these in, you know what I'm saying?
Let's see how it goes.
We'll see what go on.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed. But how's things on the Jamaica side?
It's like this.
Yeah, life.
Hey, what does that mean? I don't know. I just wanted to play that. Life is life. Life is life.
Life is life.
Yeah, man. And mommy and daddy, listen, Simone's peoples are back home, man, for real home.
So
when I say back home, I'm talking about container back up at the house. Home. Wow. Let's go. So.
So they have no plans on going anywhere.
All I had to say here is see thou and do likewise. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I figured that text might apply somewhere.
Yes.
See thou likewise.
And
do likewise.
Wait a second. This is one of those times where falafashion is definitely permitted.
That's
You know what
exactly
I'm
right.
saying?
Exactly right. And listen, I was, I've been talking about going to live in Ghana, right? But some
Yes.
things are happening in my life where Ghana it's far. I was good until these new things started happening. So we might have a little space in Ghana, but I can't live in Ghana because it's far from what I need to, be connected to in my new life. You feel me?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, man. So come on, yeah, and this
Come.
dude too.
Yeah.
This dude too. Wayne Gray, bless up. Come on, my yard. That's what
Come
I'm saying.
home at your yard. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hmm.
So what's going on in the day to day? Like, come on, dude. You make moves. You've been making moves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talk not too deep. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want everybody to know the full just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Until it
well,
comes to place. But you
yeah, I'm one.
definitely been making some moves.
Yeah, I'm this guy. Like I'm this dude right here,
Oh,
right?
come on, come on.
So I remember Quest when we started Marriage Ain't for Suckers. We were talking about something very important, and then as you wax eloquently, you would say, "Yo, Dave, now talk to us about the psych side."
Yep.
Right. And then in the meantime, though, because I've been in it, man, I've been on it since '96.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the meantime, Chris Daniels, attached to ETA, Breathe University, Eric Thomas himself. And then like everybody on y'all team started to understand that kind of a thing with assessments and behavior styles and so forth. And of course, that has developed into this massive blessing at Eric Thomas and Associates and Thomas LLC, and I'm an extreme execution coach. But since then, Eric has dropped a book, UOU.
Mm-hmm.
UOU is a everybody times bestseller. New York, Chicago, LA, everybody times bestseller, right?
Yes, sir.
And he has continued to develop a coaching community where individuals are coming into his space and his team's space to reach for beyond the stars and become not only the best versions of themselves they can be, but to help others do the same. And so
I like how you did that, but go ahead. I
yeah,
peeped that.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So it's a blessing, man. I'm affiliated in that way, and then through the week, I'm also an accountability coach with the UOU Mastermind. So it's just going up and up and up and up. It's what I love. It's what I've always loved, at least from '96. And yeah, man, it's coming. The fruit is manifesting in a lot of different ways. And listen, this is not a hobby. That's all I'm trying to say to you.
Can you say that one more time?
This is not a hobby. Like I posted yesterday a book cover that I didn't ever post. I never published the book in 2015. It was the blueprint. And it had to do with living authentically. That was 2015. Like, this is not new to me. So master your authenticity, become the greatest version of yourself so that you can be of service to others at the highest possible levels in every single category of life, unless you just want to continue to be status quo. So that's what we on, bro. That's what we on.
I don't see why anybody would want to be status quo, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I know that I've dedicated myself
Mm-hmm.
and my life to growth.
Mm-hmm.
And let me not say that. I do know why some people don't want to grow, simply because there's more challenge and opposition, but there's really no other way to grow. So if you want growth and you don't want to face challenge and difficulty and opposition, then you really
somebody lying.
Growth. Yeah, you really don't want growth.
That's right.
I just leave it there. But yeah. Man. So I thought it would be dope, D, if today we spoke a little bit to this thing called imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And because shouts out to Korshan. I still get an opportunity to jump on the prayer line from time to time. And he, was talking about it and how he dealt with it and where he is right now and what we deserve. And so I wanted to talk about a little bit how that imposter syndrome shows up in marriage sometimes, which can really adversely affect the relationship.
You think?
I know many of people have heard me say from time to time that your marriage is only as strong as the least developed individual. And sometimes when you're dealing with something yourself, right, from a mental perspective, sometimes when you think on it and dwell on it enough, you know, the word declares, whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. It may necessarily not be that in reality, but because it makes it reality when it's real in your mind.
Perception is reality. Perception, I almost said king, but that's almost like a misogynistic way of looking at it. Perception is reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So real quick, D, I just wanted to identify what it is first, and then let's jump in with both feet. So from what we know, people refer to imposter syndrome as a psychological, for lack of a better term, I'll say psychological phenomenon, right?
Oh, there's no question that it is.
In which people doubt their abilities and their accomplishments, right? And so they end up feeling like a fraud because, and here's the funny thing, they feel like a fraud even though the evidence of them succeeding in doing things is very evident. It's very clear. It's right in front of them. As a matter of fact, many other people have been witness to what they've been able to do, but some way, somehow, they feel that this time that I show up in this place to do this particular thing, I'm a fraud, right? So while the syndrome is commonly associated with work or who you are academically, right? How you show up at your job, it can also show up in other areas like, you know what I'm saying? Relationships. Let's just, because that's the context we in. Relationships, whether platonic, whether here's it. You are friends with somebody who's a mover and shaker, and every time you get in their presence, you almost sabotage the relationship because of the imposter syndrome. You don't feel like you should be in a relationship with this particular person or in the space of this person. Right.
Let me add a layer to it, because every time I have a conversation, even in our coaching community, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago, and this valuable part is almost always left out. So it's everything Quest said, right? And that sense of feeling like a fraud, but there's this other nuance that makes it even worse.
Come on.
I will be discovered as the fraud that they say that they are. So it's the fear of being discovered, not of only being a fraud, as if that's not enough, but also of being discovered. What if they find out I'm not as dope as either people say or I appear or present? What if they find me out? Can you imagine like these guys who actually were frauds, not talking about imposter syndrome anymore, people who got these good government jobs. You've seen that in the United States news over the years, good government jobs, and everything that led to them being selected for these posts was a lie. Their education was a lie. Their accomplishments was a lie. And so if we were to superimpose that on our discussion, it's like, well, what happens when Office of Personnel Management does a deeper dive and finds out that was a diploma mill degree and I never went to Georgetown? So we impose that now on imposter syndrome. It's like, well, what if they discover that I'm not fill in the blank? But it's like, pause, your position's already messed up because you're not a fraud necessarily. And so you're afraid that someone will discover that you're a fraud when really the basis of your fear is already off. Good grief, man. That's a problem.
When you actually do the work, but you still believe you're a fraud. as opposed to the person who has not done the work and fronting
Oh yeah.
and don't got no problem with being a fraud.
Ain't no future in the fronting, like they say.
Ah, come on, ain't no future in no fronting. So here's what it is, D. I just wanted to speak to a couple of ways and jump in, you know what I'm saying, where you fit in, right?
Mm-hmm.
That imposter syndrome can manifest in your marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe about 3 or 4 is good.
I'm not going to count them out because I got a lot in my brain. Let's see where we go.
Okay. And then when we're done with that, I want us to look at how to get rid of it.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
first one, right? Here's evidence of or how it can manifest in your marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doubting your ability to be a good partner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
By partner, you mean spouse?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm using that term spouse and partner hand in hand because
Okay.
marriage is so much more than just us being married to one another. We are partners in an endeavor, right? So people with imposter syndrome may feel like they don't deserve their partner's love, or that they're not doing enough to contribute to the relationship.
Can I jump in here and
Yes.
I'm going to insert one of mine into this one because I think it fits well.
Yes.
Sometimes the cause is related to the person with the syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
their perception of past relationships for the spouse. So
You said past relationships?
Past relationships. So let's just say, David, I'll make it real practical, real clear. I don't have this problem, so y'all just need to know that. But the gentleman that Simone almost married 20 some years ago, he is successful in air quotes. And he was when we were in school. We were in university to do was successful. Let's just say I had imposter syndrome. I could be having doubts in my relationship situation by comparing myself to the 19-year-old gentleman in university that was already on his A game. And I could be like, boy, I'm not like that brother. What if I don't measure up to him? What if Simone is thinking 21 years, 22, 25 years ago, I should have married him? I just made that stuff up in my brain. So it would be having an impact on my current relationship because I'm here thinking about a young dude in university who was doing very well. And I'm thinking, what if she regrets marrying me and she feels like she should have married him because I don't stack up to whatever that means.
So you're speaking to exactly the effects now, right? Because what happens when you operate in that place is that it leads to feelings of insecurity, self-doubt. And if you're operating in that place and space, and we talked about it from a platonic perspective a little while ago, that you almost start self-sabotaging because of the insecurity, because of the self-esteem that you lack in order to properly navigate, right? Because it robs you of the thing that you need to focus on, and that's continuing to be the person that you are and grow, if you will. So if you living back there and comparing yourself to who you were way back when, there's a reason when you drive a car that the rear view mirror is much, much, much more smaller than the windscreen or the windshield, if you will, as they would say in the States, the windshield.
Yeah. I was a barber. He was doing something that I can't say he was doing. He was doing real big things. And it's like,
So if I'm thinking back to his 19-year-old self, my 17-year-old self, and I'm comparing that, and I'm 50 this year, there's something very wrong. You see, if that were the case. Now, y'all don't write me. I literally never, that's not real. Like, I made that up. The story, the concept is real, but listen, I don't got them kind of problems in my situation. And no diss to people who do, but I'm just saying, I don't need any compassion on that particular thing, please. Yes. Like, I'm good. But you see what I'm saying? So the perception is really the killer here. That's the killer. So really, one thing we need to do in that case, like we need to look at some results here, right? We have to practice self-compassion in that case. Have compassion on ourselves by not comparing ourselves with anyone else.
Okay, pause, because that's really the second one that I was going to touch is
pause.
Yes, how we begin to compare our relationship to another relationship. Many a time I've had people who appreciate the work that we do, right, D? And then they'll ask me questions on, I'm talking about real specific questions that are specific to me and Faith. Mm-hmm. And so they want to take what me and do Faith that works for me and Faith and implement it into their own relationship. But work for me, Faith works for me, Faith. There's a chance that it can work for you too, right? But there's also a chance that it may not work for you, right? And so that's where it starts off, the comparison, right? Sometimes we feel that my relationship don't measure up to that relationship. And here's the funny thing. We may be in two different places. We may be in two different spaces, right? And not only will it lead to feelings of adequacy, but now jealousy starts to, inadequacy. But now jealousy starts to creep in, right? And then you start talking ill towards your partner. Well, if you were like David and Simone, then we would be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we get into the criticism part of it now. One of the four horsemen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let me tell you, when Simone and I, before we both figured out we were interested in each other 20 some years ago, we had gone out together. I want to be clear what this is. We went out together, and at the end of the night, my friend, because she was my friend for 11 years before we got married, like that's my homegirl. My friend, that's how I saw it, asked me a question. What do you see? What would you like in a woman? Well, pause. People are like, oh, you're an idiot. You knew that, you had to know that she was talking about herself, but y'all don't know that she tried to give me her cousin as a woman friend when I was a freshman in university. So
every time I hear that story, I'm like, unbelievable.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a whole, right? So it wouldn't be completely crazy for my friend to ask me the question.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't, she was asking for herself, but I didn't know. But what I said to her was, well, and then I said a woman's name. The woman was 60 years of age at the time.
Unbelievable.
And the point of me bringing this up is Simone disqualified herself because she couldn't see herself as being that type of woman. And I told her recently, like, you are more than the embodiment of that now. Now, what if in 2020, and my homeboy, who was my elder, he was like, bro, you just killed your friend. Like, she was interested in you, and you just told her she can't measure up by saying this woman is your standard. And I was like, pause. But let's just say, fast forward all these years, we're 22 years into this now, almost. What if Simone still thought about this woman that would now be 80, 80 something? And what if she was like, I can't be like her? What if she chose that argument in her brain and chose the marriage that this woman represents as her standard that she can't hit? What if
Yep.
she put that in her brain
Yep.
from something I said 23 years ago?
So I can tell you what in some cases happen.
Uh-huh.
They start overcompensating.
Oh boy. And become imposters for real.
So you said it a while ago, because what ends up happening is you start overcompensating uh, for your perceived inadequacies.
I need you to hit that attention. I don't have the attention. I need you to hit that.
So in essence, right, you start becoming overly controlling. You become a perfectionist. You may even become very demanding. And then you feel the need to prove yourself to your partner and be the perfect spouse.
Okay, I'm gonna
Right.
hack your thing again.
But
So set
real
realistic
quick,
expectations. Go ahead.
it is, right? But it causes the tension and the conflict that you're experiencing. Why? Because you're trying to be wired in a way that you are not, and it's exhausting. Come with the hack, D.
No, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying here is to set realistic expectations in that case. And you can basically cut the feet off of that thing. Realistic expectations. That's it. We have to be honest. What is it that we both expect here? Is it real? Or are we working with a half a deck or no deck of cards?
So here's the funny thing, because you said half a deck or full deck. You could actually be operating as yourself, learning and growing. Or you could be operating like somebody else who ain't even like you, but because you have this perceived notion that what they're doing, it should be working for you. The reason why it's not working for you is because you're trying to be and do something that is for somebody else. And what I've learned is that when you take something that is a blessing tailor-made for somebody else and try to operate in it or try to make it for you, that blessing now becomes a curse because okay. So D, I've had the opportunity on a number of occasions, and I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that I haven't had the need to wear them in a couple of years, but I still have them in the closet, right? I have a couple tailor-made suits, right? Tailor-made, custom for me, right? Could you wear them? You could, but I can almost,
I've bought those on eBay.
yes.
And has some other dude's name inside the thing.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's part of it right there. Number one, your name even ain't on that.
That's
Your
right.
name's not even on that. You should want something that is named for you. Will it fit? It might fit, but it won't fit.
Let's say that again.
Will it fit? Yes, but it won't fit.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? And so
Yeah.
it'll cause you to feel like a failure.
Because you
Because
are
oh, come on.
failing at becoming someone else.
Come on.
So it's no need to feel like a failure when you shouldn't even be in that lane anyway. It's okay to not be Quest. Can I say something
promise you.
here?
Come
Listen,
on, jump in.
when I was young, I'm talking about probably before high school, this dude Quest, we knew him by another moniker growing up,
Yeah.
was super cool to me. There was another dude named Norman. I thought Justin was very cool. So I'll just work with those guys. I'll work with those guys. I was not cool, or maybe people made me think I was not when I was a young dude.
Right now.
Right? What if in 2023 or maybe 17 when we started Marriage Ain't for Suckers, I think it was around that time. What if I said, I haven't seen Quest in 29 years. Now, I have become cool, even in my own eyes. Let me say.
Cool back then. You just
See, we talking about perceptions, aren't we? Right? This is rubber meets the road style. But say now we me and Quest and I, we connect, and I'm like, and then I somehow my brain regresses somehow, and I'm like, yo, but Quest is just too cool. Why would Quest want to do anything with me? Like, Quest is the life of the party. Quest is super intelligent. Like, the ladies used to love Quest when we were young. They didn't love me. Not that it matters today, but I'm saying now I'm reliving this
And just for
preteen.
argument's sake, probably did, but you just didn't know.
We're talking about perceptions, aren't we? We're talking about a syndrome here.
Mm-hmm.
You dig? So, what if I go back to 10-year-old Dave, and then I go up to 14-year-old Dave? We're in high school, and Quest is even cooler. Justin is definitely cooler, and I'm thinking, but why would Quest want to do anything with me? And then all these years now, we don't make an impact because Dave is mixed up somewhere, and I defeat the relationship, in air quotes, that Quest and I can have to make an impact on the planet because I perceive that dude is way too cool to want to do anything with Dave.
Come on.
You see? Now put that in a marriage, you got a real problem. Your wife, your husband, ladies, you're talking about destroying generations to come. Because
Please say that one more time.
You're talking about destroying generations to come in at least two ways. One, you may count yourself out of a relationship that God ordained for you, and therefore you're not able to make an impact in that relationship and leave legacy based on that connection. Or you do say, you know what? I'll yield. I will marry her. Ladies, I will marry him. But now you are infecting and poisoning your children with your brokenness. And now it seems, I said seems, that they don't have a chance because they're still living in that broken shadow that you have created, you fabricated for them. And rinse and repeat, generational problems that could be averted.
Can I tell you why this is so strong? I read an article in, was it Men's Health? I want to say it was Men's Health, but it was dealing with cognitive processing and how we deal with situations, right? Mm-hmm. And how important it is to have mental health and to be able to overcome things like imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. The decisions that you make, right? The decisions that we're talking about right now, how to behave, how to process information, has a ripple effect down through 7 to 8 generations. So when you said a while ago that you have this perceived or what seems to be that really isn't, it's just going on in your head, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When you operate in those places of self-sabotage, of thinking I'm not good enough, of fear of vulnerability, feeling like a failure, overcompensating, doubting your ability, and that comes out through your actions, you are sending a ripple effect of that mindset and the way you behave down to 7 or 8 generations behind you.
Yo, this, I'm not one of those people who, okay, put it this way. When people give me a compliment, I embrace it. I accept it, but I move on so quickly. Maybe some people think I have a hard time accepting it. I really don't, but I just move on so quickly. So we'll work with that perception. Let's just say I do have a problem with it, right? I did a presentation a few weeks ago, and in the community where the presentation was done, it was turned all the way up in a positive way. It was just like, whoa, like, wow, like this. And listen, it was crazy. Listen, somebody that is very kind and most of the time is very, very in sync. Like, this person actually reached out to me as soon as they saw this happening in our community. positive, 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 positive. DM'd me. If you're having a difficult time accepting the compliments, stop it. Embrace it. And if you're having a difficult time accepting the positivity because you think somebody in the space may be questioning you, stop it. Now, that last part, hit it on the head, because I struggle with it. I struggle with it because I had 2 years of a situation where, listen, I came in the room as me, authentic me, like that helix behind me, that DNA helix for those who can't see, like as me. I come in, knocking the ball out the park the way that I do, like it or not. And then for a time, it was just like, yeah, you're here because you're dope, but stop being so dope. Stay in your lane. And it's just like, pause, wait a minute, hold it, wait, what is this? And I'm having to overcome that. Where Quest and Simone says, stop dimming your light. I don't know if you remember, you talked to me heavy one time. I had to, and I now I'm like, no, I'm not dimming the light because it's ungodly. Whatever the Lord gave me, that's what I'm going in with. Full stop. That's it.
Who gave you the light that you have?
God.
Okay, good. I think there's a text that says, let your light so shine.
So shine.
I got to go to the Hebrew because I want to know what that so shine means. They could have said, let your light shine. But they said, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and then glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So it's not about me.
It never was.
It never was.
When people say, yo, who are you? And I simply respond, servant of God, friend to man.
That was clear.
But you coach so many couples. You wrote a book. Okay, I'm not going to let y'all get me caught up in the hype. I'm a servant of God and friend to man. That is what I do. That stuff that you're talking about is what I do. It is not who I am. It is in him that I move and breathe and have my being.
It is so simple. That is so simple.
You
we
feel me, D?
Get that.
So what he gave you, okay, the gift that he gave you is for use. People say, well, the gift is for you. It's your gift. The gift is not for you. It's for use. And when you use it and you understand why it was given, when you understand who you are and whose you are.
Yes.
Everything else is just a byproduct of that. So let's do this real quick, because you were touching on stuff as we were talking and going through. You were like, ping, ping, ping.
Bop them.
Let's talk about how to get rid of the imposter syndrome now.
Yeah.
Right? For me, one of the first things is acknowledging, because you said it earlier on, right? Stop comparing. But even before I stop comparing, I have to acknowledge that I do have these feelings, right? And so
number one rule.
Right. The first thing to do is to acknowledge, right? Or to embrace the fact that I'm having these feelings.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing is to recognize that you do have them, and then understand that it's a regular thing to have doubts, right? You might even be insecure about a couple of things. But I think number one is to recognize that you have them. And then number two, recognize that you're also not alone. The best of the best of the best.
Oh, I know.
And
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You feel me? Just because they operate. Here's the funny thing, D, that my wife laughs at me every time I get ready to speak. I still get those butterflies in my stomach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to breathe and walk back and forth and just put myself in a frame of mind. She's like, you've done this 1,000,001 times. Yeah, but I understand that last experience is not this experience, even though it's like second nature. Sometimes just the thought of going to speak to 400, 500 people at one time. Number one, I that's a lot of power, and I don't want to misstep or say anything wrong because now I'm speaking into the lives of people, and not more importantly than that, I'm going to do God's work. And I
Is-
always get
That's it.
nervous when I go to do God's work because you don't handle that like you handle everything else.
Is this group therapy? Because listen, I've spoken thousands
Mm-hmm.
of times if you want to include online.
Yep.
Thousands. I'm on 200 radio stations today,
Today.
plus multiple online platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and I get nervous still. I'm not paralyzed. I'm not biting my fingernails off. I'm not, quaking, but everything you just said.
Yep.
I don't want it to become so familiar to me. Like, sometimes people come to me and they say, "Hey Dave, I want you to do X. I know you got something on that." And I'm like, "You think that I'm rinsing and repeating when I come in front of people? You think I'm going into the crates to just rinse something and come to you with that? That's your
Here's the,
first problem."
here's the funny thing, D. Paul said he wanted God to remove the thorn, right? Now, for me, there's a
Yes.
bunch of thorns I want God to remove. Let's not keep. Let me
You
just
said put
keep
an
it
S on
100.
that.
I
Put an
want
S
you to
on it.
remove that thorn and
And that
that
one,
thorn. Matter of
could you
fact,
move?
remove them too. You know what I'm saying?
Where you're at it, while you're at it, I got a
While you
couple
at it,
more.
but the butterflies in the stomach and that little bit of nervous feeling that I always get before I actually go to speak, right? I pray he never loses that or never removes that thorn because it constantly keeps me in the mindset that what you're about to do, a lot weighs on it. And not just for the opportunities that you'll garner from the actual
That's
situation.
right.
I don't know
That's right.
how this quote unquote social media thinkers are saying some of the stuff that they saying. And I'm just like, that is not beneficial for anybody other
Boo
than
to
you
that.
who doing it. You feel me? It's a lot of so-called thinkers and
Influencers.
influencers, and I'm just like, yo, y'all
Boo.
influencing a generation of people to do stuff that's not conducive to the end result that they want. So that thorn that he has there for me constantly keeps me in the frame of mind that okay, you have a responsibility here now as a believer
Yeah.
that what you are about to say that make sure that it speaks life and is it conducive to everybody's end result, right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. So when you're talking about acknowledging these feelings, um that's the major part of them because once you acknowledge them, that's where we start the road to really overcoming the imposter side, if you will. So
Let's see if we got the same number two in the context of marriage. What's your number two
um
to overcoming? Because you've acknowledged it, and we're talking about in marriage now specifically, because it's easy for you and I right now while we're talking to just generalize it, but now we're in our marriages.
I would say communicate, talk.
Talk what?
Um Communicate with your partner on how you feeling.
It's the same one. We got the same number two.
All right. So
Because I'm communicating to myself already, to mine own self be true.
Yep.
But now since it's a marriage and I have a wife, if this is my situation, I need to be honest with her about the same thing.
Absolutely.
Good. We on the same page, Quest.
Once again, a marriage is only as strong as its least developed individual. If you do not have vulnerability, right? I call them that's the last of the HMV lens, right? If you don't have that, then chances are you probably don't have the maturity or the humility either, because they really do work hand in hand. If you don't have that, then you don't have intimacy. If you don't have intimacy, you really don't have much of a relationship.
You're dead. That's it. That's it.
I need you to into me see. I need you to see me butt naked. You know that? Not you. Pause. Not you, D. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
because I don't want. I can't
need
unsee
faith.
that what
I
you
need
just said.
faith. I need faith to be able to see
That's right.
me emotionally,
That's right.
mentally, intellectually, socially, sometimes naked,
That's
and
exactly
give
right.
her the room to be able to help me navigate through some of the stuff. So I would say to communicate, right? And
Yeah.
let them know how you feel, what you feel, and why you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing that we need to do, because you had to think about people that are struggling with perceptions that are not true, right? And listen, I need, for those of you who are into behavior styles, temperaments, personality styles, whatever how you call it in your way of speaking, right? I do not, what I want you to do, and boy, this came up, man, and shout to Moose, man, Mustafa, man. Mustafa Ghonim, like he's our super coach, trainer coach guy, right? Yeah, like at Extreme Execution, right? And when he was teasing the question in our community about this same thing, but not relating to marriage, he asked the question, what behavior style would suffer most with this? And I was like, man, in my brain, I'm like, because I just told you, I kick down the door everywhere I go now. Like I'm shining as God gives me the light, and I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. I was like, please don't let Moose pick one. Please don't let Moose. This is what I'm thinking. Please don't let him, because I'm coming in guns blazing. But he didn't, because he's the master of what he does. Yep. Now, there were some of us vulnerably in our community that said yes and picked one. Somebody else picks another one. And I'm like, pause. No. You have to understand how deep rooted this is. Every type of person can have this challenge, and nobody's more liable to have it, because remember, this is based on perception. So the devil really has a tailor-made deception for your brain. Bruh. Regardless of what kind of behavior, which behavior style you lead from. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a pilot, like in our way of speaking, like if you're one of those type A, come to the game, ready to go, competitive types, well, you could, if you suffer with this, you could also be thinking, well, but Quest, he's not that necessarily. He has some aspects of it, but you may be perceiving like, yo, that dude is doper than me. I'm competing with my perception of him, and it's throwing me off, and now I have a problem. And we could go down through the behavior styles, and it's the same thing. I could think that somebody's more put together than me, and I'm a grounds crew, air traffic control who works hard, steady as he goes, have systems for everything, and I could think, but maybe Quest has better systems. Maybe Quest is a harder worker. Maybe he's going to outpace me. And it's a lie I've told myself, because the devil has tailor-made mix-ups for everybody.
If you took our healthcare system and put it in Canada, would it work?
No, bro. I promise you it would not. No, the way it's set up in Canada is totally different than the way y'all got it in the U.S.
So shouts out to Preach Garrett, you know what I'm saying? Because Preach taught this early in the game. Preach said that if I have an inefficiency, if I operate in an efficient kind of way in a particular area,
pause. Are you saying it is efficient or not efficient?
Not efficient.
Okay, go ahead. I'm clear.
I'm operating in an area in which I am not efficient.
Okay.
Right? One of the principles that he taught me early was put a system in place to handle that inefficiency, or earn the right to hire someone to do it for you.
Clear.
Now here's the caveat. The fact that I put a system in place for my inefficiency. If I take somebody else's system that is not custom built for my inefficiency, right? And I put it there, what I'm going to do now is manufacture weakness.
Oh, we're manufacturing limitations up in here today.
Because what I did was, right, I took something that I didn't, and this is one of the things that we want to talk to specifically in terms of getting rid of. Focus on your strengths.
Thank you. I was hoping we were going to get to that.
Right? Instead of dwelling on the things that you're not good at, let's focus on the things that we are good at. Now, even in operating in, I'm dope at what I do, but from an admin place, D, I suck.
Bruh, if I have to call you one more time to ask you if you coming.
Yes.
But that's Quest. No diss.
understand? Now, D got to put systems in place. I got a calendar. We got to put it on the calendar, and to get me back, because I'm already in a season now where I'm
Yeah.
being shifted and shaped like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yes, sir.
I'm being
Maracas.
taken up. So what happens is I have to go back to my system, because the system is tailor-made for me to handle my inefficiencies. If I operate an imposter syndrome and take somebody else's system because I think their system works better than mine is because of what it's producing for them, it's tailor-made for them. And that's the reason why they're winning, because they're operating in a system that's tailor-made for them. If I take it now and I use it for me, it's not tailor-made for me. And now not only is it not working, but I'm now manufacturing a weakness.
Listen, I don't know if anybody watches boxing. I'm not trying to say you should or should not, but I think you can get a visual on it, whether you into boxing, yes or no. So you got a guy who's 5'7" tall, and he has average reach or average length of arms for his height. You got another guy, they're both the same weight. You got another guy that's 6'2" tall, and he has average length of arms for his height, right? Somebody's watching who has no idea imposter syndrome style, and they're like, yo, I see the 6'1" brother working from the outside. He's using his reach, quote, advantage to win his whatever he's doing, fight. But you're the dude that's 5'6". What if you try to use distance as an advantage? Can y'all see that? If a brother who is 5'6" and has average length of arms for that height is trying to use reach as an advantage, that system is going to get him beat up and potentially hurt. He has to have another system that may have to do with speed. It may have to do with getting into the inside. Whereas the brother with 6 foot height and reach uses distance as an advantage, in theory. So don't do what King Saul tried to do with David and give this dude, yourself, armor that is not for you. It's untried. It will not work. Use systems that apply to you. It must apply to you. Adapt, fine. But don't just buy an armor off the shelf and say, I'm going to use this as a system in my life. It's not going to work out.
It's funny, D, I'm going to let people know I've been in the Goodwill sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I like to go there every now and then, because especially the ones that are in the upscale neighborhoods, because you come across some gems every now and then.
I got no shame whatsoever. I don't care what y'all think of me doing that.
Let me just tell you real quick what I came across and what I paid for it. I came across a tweed Cavalli blazer in the Goodwill in Ballantyne here. I paid, I think, $85 for the blazer. We talking about Cavalli. Like, the cut on this joker is, right, 42 long.
That's you.
42, right? And when I took it home, it looked good on the kid, but there were like little gaps in, you know what I'm saying? Like in the back, it would buckle a little bit. What did I do?
You got that thing tailored, man. Get that pucker out of there.
My homegirl, Kim, one of the illest tailors, she's from Thailand.
Oh,
Monster.
say less.
She's a monster. Took it to her. She gripped it. Oh, yep, I see buckle. Yeah, you need to. Yep, fix it for me, Kim. She put a little pinches on it. Did her thing.
Gave her a day. Gave her 2 days. What happened?
I don't even think it was 2 days.
Yes.
Came back to her, bro. And when I tell you, it fit like a glove. I was putting. She's like, no. Let me whole jacket. Put my arms
draped.
Right,
that's right. Drape it on the brother. Drape it on him,
bruh. Oh. When I tell you that tweed, now do the knowledge. I can dress it up, dress it down. Usually I like to put on a pair of jeans, you know what I'm saying? The Versace, you know what I'm saying? Ankle high joints, clean white shirt, nice little orange piece, pocket square. Boom. When I tell you how good like for real.
It's for you.
It was for me, there is nothing better. Blessing, opportunity, relationship. There's nothing better when it's tailor-made for you, because when it's not, I'm gonna just leave it right there. So I'll do this to bring us up out of here.
One
Go ahead.
second,
No,
though. Let's give them the biggest one in case they're not able to apply any of this. The biggest one is simple. Get assistance. Get help.
Yeah.
There are professionals in the mental health space that can assist and get you to the point, if you're willing, to phenomenal. That's all I got to say on that one. So take us out of here, bro.
So I would just say this. If you operate in this place and space, it can really mess things up between you and your partner. D and I listed them out. If you get a chance to watch it on the replay, watch it on the replay. Stop doing those things that we said, right? We listed in terms of overcoming this thing. And D just said it. If you can't do that, or if you need help, because see, the what is one thing. The how is something totally different.
How is where the money is.
They said the dream is free, but the grind, it costs. So from shaky to good, from good to great, y'all already know what we say. All of us want phenomenal marriages, but phenomenal marriages don't just happen. They take work. So let's do that. Work. And we'll see y'all on the flip side.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.